Hi, my name is Marilyn, and for this video I'm going to be showing you how to create a super high glamorous look with as little effort as possible. One of my goals for the new year was to create a routine for myself to keep a polished appearance. I'm going to show you how to create a lazy glam routine that's relatively affordable and the biggest glamorous no heat hairstyle. Let's get started. For this hairstyle, I'm first going to brush through my hair with a white tooth comb. Usually I'll do this hairstyle before I go to sleep or early in the morning. I found that the longer that you leave in this hairstyle to set, the better it comes out and the longer it lasts. But for the minimum time required, I'd say it dries in about 1 hour and only really takes about 5 minutes to do. Next, I'm going to create my desired part, so I just brush my hair all over to one side and brush forward the part that I want to be my bang. Honestly, since I do have a side part, most of my hair is going to be a bang. After I'm done with that, I split the rest down the center and I split my hair in half. So now that my hair's parted, it's time to do the curl. For this, I'm going to be using a headband. And depending on the thickness of the curl that you want, as well as how much hair you have, you might have to use a second band. So I use 2. You'll also need some water. I have it in this hair bottle just because I'm doing it on camera. I usually just dampen my fingers in front of the sink and run it through my hair. And lastly, you'll just need 2 bobby pins to hold your hair in place while you roll it. This technique works on any length of hair because all I'm doing is tucking in my hair into the headband. So I'm placing it horizontally onto my head and just making sure that all of the hair underneath it is in place. So just tucking in any flyaways and making sure that it's nice and smooth on top. So with just the first headband on my head, I'm going to work on the side that has the least amount of hair. So for me, it's the side that I have shaved off. So now with the water, I'm just going to slightly dampen up my hair. I'm sectioning off a little piece of hair that's going to create my first curl. With that section in one hand, I use my other hand to lift the headband and I loop the hair around it. Next, I'm taking another small section and I'm going to make it into a curl again, just adding it to the piece that I'd looped before. Now since I have this side of my head shaved, I only have enough for one more section of hair, so I'm going to zoom you in so that you can see me grab the rest of it and loop it through the headband. Once I've done that, there's still the length of my hair that's left to be curled, so what I do is just continue the pattern of lifting the headband and looping my hair until there's nothing left to curl. In between each loop I create, I pull the hair tightly together so that the curl comes out nice and tight. Once I get to the ends of my hair, I don't want the curl to be too small, so I just loop the hair around itself. Now I'm just adding a bobby pin to the ends of the hair to hold it in place while I roll the other side. I'm touching up my sideburn piece that I have with my half death hawk, but if you have any baby hairs or you want to just adjust your bangs, now's the time to do that. I'm going to do any last minute touch-ups to the front of my hair before I put in the second headband. With the second headband, I'm just placing it horizontally on top of the one under it, and I'm tucking in the curled side that I already did underneath it, so that's nice and tucked in there and protected while I roll the rest. I'm repeating the steps on this side of my head that I did on the other, but it's basically, if you look up on YouTube, like a twist updo or a crown updo twist, it's basically the same thing, just around a headband. So for this section, since I'm doing the same thing, I don't want to over explain it and make it seem difficult because it's not, so I'll just let you watch. So now that you look like the ugly stepsister from Shrek, you can bobby pin the end of this curl as well and sleep in the hair. Or if you're just going to be getting ready in the morning, I would recommend leaving it without the bobby pin in because it can get a little uncomfortable. This is a great style to sleep in because it doesn't feel tight or uncomfortable and you can lay down however you want. I'm pushing the hairband up a little bit to get the hair out of my face so we can get started with the makeup. My favorite drugstore foundation and concealer is Milani's Conceal and Perfect Foundation and Concealer. It has a dewy finish and a medium to high coverage. To blend it onto my face quickly, I use the Real Technique sponge and load it up with product. I stamp onto my face starting in the center. Then I work whatever's left over onto the outer portions of my face and onto my nose. I go in with the second coat only on areas that need additional coverage. Now with the concealer, I'm adding it under my eyes and in the corners of my nose where it gets really red. I love this concealer because it has a very high coverage and matte finish without looking cakey. Once I blend out the product, I use whatever's left over on the sponge to put on the center of my forehead, eyelids, and nose, as well as my chin and underneath my cheekbones. Now I'm going in with the contour color. At the moment, I don't have any specific one that I like. I'm just using an eyeshadow. I find that powder contours are a lot easier to pull off for every day, so that's my preferred product. So I'm adding it all over my face to warm up my complexion. And I'm also going to bring that down the nose. For blush, I'm using the Flower Beauty Sweet Pea blush, and I love this stuff, so I put it all over my face and onto my nose. And then for highlighter, I use Blossom Glow by Wet n Wild. For a super pinched nose makeup look, I'm going to just put it on with my finger directly onto the center and blend it out with a brush, with no additional product. This will give a really glamorous glow to your face. For my brows, I'm using Sugar Pill's Bulletproof Eyeshadow. I use it with a dampened brush to make this black eyeshadow as dark as possible and easier to glide around. And if you wet your brush with a setting spray, that'll even make it last long. But you can also just use eye contact solution or water. Once I'm happy with the shape, I set my eyebrow hairs with the CoverGirl Brow Gel in Deep. For the eyes, I'm using my favorite affordable everyday makeup palette by Milani, and this one is called Bold Obsessions. I'm priming my eyes using concealer and starting off with the lightest shade in here under my eyebrows. Now with the fluffy brush, I'm going to be using this red color in my crease as a transition shade. This color is a satin matte, which means it has a little bit of a sheen to it. This kind of finish makes it really easy to just throw onto your eyelid and blend it out. Next with my finger, I'm taking the champagne shade and pegging it onto my eyelid and onto the inner corner of my eye. The black in this eyeshadow palette is actually really good, so I'm using that as well as a black eyeliner to smoke out my under eye because it wasn't a phase and I can't live without my emo eyeliner. To smoke that out even further, I'm using that red eyeshadow that I used in the crease. For my eyelashes, I'm adding a thin band of the NYX Epic Ink eyeliner and the NYX Worth the Hype mascara. My eyelashes suck, so I'm just using this to darken them up for my false eyelashes. I have a lot of favorites that I use every day for lip color, so I'm just going to share a couple of them while I take my hair down. This first one is Praline by e.l.f. and this color is so pretty. It's very neutral with a matte finish. For everyday, sometimes I love a really diffused lip line, so I'll just blend it out towards the edges of my lip line with my finger. So to take the hair down, I usually start from the ends and untwist it towards the front of my face. I was so upset because since I added water to my hair using the spray bottle, it ended up being too much water and my hair didn't dry properly. It usually doesn't come out this way because I'll dampen it using my fingers in the sink, and that's usually enough water, but since I was filming it, I wanted to do it this way because I didn't have a sink in front of me. So yeah, don't be like me and over dampen your hair because then it will never dry. I promise this usually comes out a lot more curly, but I actually love a loose, messy curl to my hair anyway. And at night I ended up just throwing the hair back into the headbands and it came out extra curly the next day. When I take out the hair, I'll usually let it sit on my shoulders, the same way that when you use a curling wand, you kind of hold the curl in your hand before you let it down, just to lock in the curl. Going back to the lip real quick, this formula in particular gets a little dry on me, so I like to go over it with the Alyssa Ashley lip gloss, also by e.l.f. I backcomb my hair using the Got To Be Glued hairspray and a backcombing brush. I don't like to go crazy on the backcombing on first day hair like this that I did. My hair is freshly washed, so I like to let it get dirty and add more hairspray as the days go by. So for today, it's not going to be the biggest or most precise backcombing job that I've done, but these curls are so big that it just gives it a little bit of body because it doesn't need much. So I'm grabbing big sections from the top, working from the back all the way up to my bang. Now I'm softly combing through the top layer of my teasing and finishing everything into place with one last coat of hairspray on top. Now with my hair all complete, I'm going to be choosing my lip combination, and for that I'm using the Milani Spice Lip Liner and Sugar Pills Trinket Lipstick. I love this combo for super defined, everyday glittery glammed lip. This lipstick smells like orange creamsicle, it's my favorite. And I'm powdering down the center of my face using the Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation powder. I love the airbrush finish that it gives to my skin, and it looks so good in real life, not just on camera. And that's actually the last step. This is the completed look. Thank you for watching my tutorial on the ultimate lazy glam. If you like this video, please make sure to leave a thumbs up down below and subscribe to my channel as well. For a closer look of this makeup, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MarilynMugBeat. I'll see you next time. Bye!